Good morning, this is Kasturi Dev. Today I've come to discuss another chapter in electricity, that is electricity, okay, in this physics chapter according to ICSE syllabus class 8, okay. So I'm starting with this electricity chapter. First, we know that electricity is in our daily life. We use electricity in our daily life very. It is needed for our daily use. Okay, it is a necessity in our daily use. It has become a necessity in our daily use. So electricity in our daily life, that is what is. We see that is the motion of electrons, that is current electricity which we see, okay. But this word electricity, that has come from the Greek word that is known as electron, which means amber, which is a kind of a resin having a straw yellow color, okay. And this electricity, this electron, this has been this about 2500 years ago, a Greek philosopher who was known as Thales, he founded that when amber was rubbed with wool, it acquired the property of attracting small pieces of paper or cork, okay. So in about 2500 years ago, the Thales, a Greek philosopher, who first found that amber which was rubbed with wool, he found that it acquired a property of attracting small pieces of paper. Now later, Dr. Gilbert found that there are many other substances like glass, plastic, nylon, hard rubber, sealing wax, ebonite, etc., which also show the same property of attraction. Okay, these substances are called electrified or charged particles. Okay, these substances which have the property of this attraction, they are known as charged particles or electrified particles, okay. And so this type of electricity which it developed after rubbing two substances, that is that static electricity, okay. Here in this static electricity, the electrons do not move, but which we see in our daily life, there the electrons move, okay. That is current electricity. That means there are two types of electricity, that is static electricity and current electricity, okay. Now we will be discussing this static electricity first, okay. Now when this substance is rubbed with wool, these electrified particles or charged particles which are rubbed with wool, fur or silk, they acquire an electric charge due to the friction and acquires the property to attract small pieces of paper, leaves or cork, okay. Next is the kinds of electric charge. There are two kinds of electric charge, okay. After this rubbing, we have seen that they acquire a charge. So what are the kinds of charge which they acquire? So it may be positive charge or it may be negative charge. Two kinds of charge are there. Now, like charges, they repel each other, and unlike charges, they attract each other. Okay, when substances are charged by rubbing and tested in a similar manner, it is found that they fall into the following categories. Okay, so when the substances are charged by rubbing are tested in a similar manner, when they are tested in the similar manner, we find that there are two kinds of categories. Two categories are there. Okay, first category is substances which have the similar charge as that developed as the glass on a glass rod when it is rubbed with silk. When a glass rod is rubbed with the silk, okay, the glass rod acquires one kind of charge. Okay, the substances which acquire the kind of charge which the glass rod acquires when it is rubbed with silk, that is said to be positive charge, because glass rod when rubbed with silk acquires positive charge, and when the other substances acquire the same kind of charge as that of the glass rod, they are said to be positively charged. And substances are there which require similar charges when as that develop on an ebonite rod when it is rubbed with fur. When ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, it acquires a negative charge. Okay, and when different substances acquire the same charge like that of the ebonite rod when it is rubbed with fur, then that is those substances acquire the negative charge. Okay, that is, they are known as negatively charged, and the previous one was positively charged. Okay, now conservation of charge, how it is the charges are conserved. Okay, before rubbing the two objects, each object is uncharged. Okay, when the two substances are rubbed, before that the each object has uncharged, are in the condition of uncharged condition. Okay, so the net charge in them is 0. When two objects are rubbed together, both are charged equally, but the charges on them are opposite. So what happens? The total charge of the object before and after rubbing remains the same. Okay, so what happens when they are not rubbed? They have the net charge that is equal to 0. They are uncharged. Okay, but when they are rubbed, they acquire, both the substances acquire charge, but they acquire, one is positive, another is negative. That is, opposite charges are there. So that is equal to the conservation of charge, because in the first condition when they were uncharged, their net charge was 0. But in the second condition, when they are rubbed, they are charged, but they have opposite charge. So the net charge is 0. So therefore, what happens? That this is known as conservation of charges. For example, when a glass rod is rubbed with silk, the glass rod gets positive charge and the silk gets negative charge by the same amount. So net 0. When an ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, the rod gets negative charge and the fur gets positive charge. So again, by the same amount. So the net is 0. Okay. Now, explanation of charging on rubbing. What happens? These electric charges actually come from an atom. Okay, when we have studied atom, we know that atom has 3 parts. That is neutron, proton, and electron. Now, these electric charges, they come from an atom. The discovery of a structure of an atom happened in the beginning of the 20th century. Okay, before this, it was thought that atom is the smallest unit of matter that cannot be broken further. Okay, it was also believed that atoms of the same element are alike in all respect, but actually atoms of different elements are different in all respects. These all we have studied earlier when we studied atom. Okay, that atom, the electric charges are present in the atom. It was discovered before the beginning of the 20th century, and the smallest unit of matter is known as atom, and they cannot be broken further. Before it was thought of, and later it was believed that they are all alike. Before it was believed that they were all alike, but later it actually meant that different elements have different different atoms in all respects. So actually it is electrically neutral. Okay, we know that they are electrically neutral because the protons which are present in the atoms, they are positively charged, neutrons are uncharged, and the electrons which revolve in the orbits, okay, they are negatively charged. So net it will be 0. The charge will be 0. The number of electrons in an atom is equal to the number of protons. But some of these electrons can easily leave their atoms. Those electrons are known as free electrons, which can easily leave the atom. Okay, the two objects which are rubbed together are initially neutral. I told you, when they are not rubbed, they are initially neutral, that is, they are uncharged. Okay, when they are rubbed together, the free electrons are transferred from one object to other, and that condition, the object which gain free electrons become negatively charged because they have excess of electrons, so they become negatively charged, and the objects which lose free electrons, they become positively charged because the protons are more than the electrons, so they become positively charged. For example, glass rod will rub with silk. So what happens? Silk gets more electrons from the glass rod, so it becomes negatively charged, and the glass rod, as it loses electrons, so the protons become more than the electrons, so it becomes positively charged. In case of ebonite rod rubbed with fur, the fur loses electrons and ebonite rod gains electrons. And as it gains electrons, electrons will be more than the protons, so it will be negatively charged, and the fur which loses electrons, the protons becomes more than the electrons, so therefore it is positively charged. Okay. Now, positively electrification of a body is due to the deficiency of electrons as compared to the normal number of electrons in the neutral atom that I told you now. Okay, and negative electrification is due to the excess of electrons as compared to the normal number of electrons in the neutral atom. Now, positive or negative electrification is due to the transfer of electrons and not due to the proton transfer. This positivity or negativity of the charge is only due to the transfer of electrons and not due to the transfer of protons. Protons cannot be transferred. Only electrons get transferred. Okay, because electrons are free. Protons are in the in the central mass of the atom. Okay, so equal and opposite charges are produced at the same time. According to the law of conservation of electric charges, the sum total of electrons in a system is a constant quantity. Okay, the sum total of electrons in a system that means is a constant quantity, that is known as conservation of electric charges. See, from the picture you can see this is the neutral. Okay, negatively charged, more electrons are there, therefore it is negatively charged. Positively charged, more protons, electrons is less amount, that's why it is positively charged. See, in this ebonite rod is transferring electrons to the sphere, metal sphere. Therefore, what happens? The ebonite rod is negatively charged. It's transferring this metal to the metal sphere. The metal sphere gets negatively charged. Okay. Now, if what happens, if this metal sphere is earthed, okay, so what happens? See, this is by induction, this is by contact. The metal sphere is becoming charged. Okay, so it is negatively charged. When it is induction, that is when we are not touching the metal sphere with the ebonite rod, we are keeping it a distance. Okay, then what happens? The near charge to the ebonite rod, that will be positive, because opposite charge it will be, and the further end it will be negatively charged. The sphere, the further end of the sphere will be negatively charged. Now, when this is earth, the negative charge which is away from the ebonite rod, that will go into the ground. When it is earth, it will go into the earth, and the sphere will be positively charged. Okay. So, I'll stop here. I'll continue with the rest of the discussion in my next video. Please go through this, and if you have any doubt or any suggestion or any other questions regarding this chapter or any other chapter, you can please write in the comment box. Please do like, share and also comment, and do subscribe to get the notification of my next video, so that it can produce in me some more energy to produce you some more beautiful videos for you, so that you can be benefited from this type of videos. It will help you in your studies. Okay, and please wait for my this website, which will launch soon. Work is going on that, so it will contain more of information of your subjects and different other subjects. Some interesting facts will also be there, so please wait for that, and thank you for watching.